I am Bobby. I am a robot cat. Many moons ago, one of my favorite pastimes was snarking on the wealth of embarrassment that is our very own Admiral Lanny. Otherwise known as Catherine Joy. Never fear, I do have many plans to continue to snark on her antics. Never mind. My dear viewers, we are here today to discuss the anti-Katie Joy community. If you were unaware, this formerly large group of Catherine detractors spends their precious time streaming and creating content about the YouTuber nearly every single day. There was a time when Catherine was quite a bit more publicly amusing than she is now. With constant lawsuits, drunken Instagram streams, and Twitter rampages, there is no denying that Lord Farquaad was quite entertaining, and to not make light of it all, I will fairly address that she has been dangerously problematic for the majority of her time on the YouTube platform. During her worst years, myself and many others highlighted her antics, discussed the more serious bits, and enjoyed a good laugh at her expense. The community that dedicated their time to calling her out slowly evaporated into a few smaller groups. Most of the bulk of the community, whether through misunderstandings, changed alliances, or internet beefs, eventually separated off into their own areas of the internet. And to date, there are fewer antis than ever before. Some former detractors simply stepped away, feeling that the constant nitpicking of the woman was quite futile, while others had a change of heart entirely. The hope was always to hold her accountable and make innocent viewers aware of the dangers that were Catherine Joy. However, as time went on, her channel only grew. In fact, in the days of my coverage of her lawsuits and other poor behaviors, her average views a video were somewhere between 40 and 70,000. Today? Well, her views range between 110 to 170,000 a video. Quite the accomplishment. So, this brings me to my question. Did the anti-Catherine Joy community actually grow her channel? And, are the few remaining simply furthering her audience base, via nightly streams, Facebook groups, and Twitter tags? I've a poll on my community tab currently on which I asked you all how you feel about coverage of Catherine Joy. The audience is clearly nearly split down the middle, with just a small percentage more wishing she were a topic of distant past. So, who is really even speaking on her antics anymore? Well, not many. You've got the obvious, who at least speak on specific issues or do a bit of snarking, such as Dear Enel and Nene Marie, whose content I rather enjoy. And, of course, the original gangster of Catherine obsession, the $1 margarita bandit, Steve McRae, who spends more time whinging these days in others' streams than he does creating actual content on the topic. And then there is Erin, of the channel EKC People Suck, who divides her precious time off work between Katie and another creator called Nonsense on the web. I do not believe Erin and Steve will ever give up their quest to destroy without a crystal ball, and given Steve's many proclamations he would take her down, I would imagine he is quite gutted, knowing she is only flourishing. And, a bit late to the game, we've got Vader Jade, who aside from streaming often on old topics related to Katie's past behavior, apparently runs a small Facebook group called Without a Crystal Ball Exposed. This actually was a topic of contention with Catherine, as she recently doxed Vader over the group and allegations of stalking. Never mind. While Vader and Steve seem to believe that their 8.8 thousand member community is a fine example of just how problematic Admiral Lanny is, they failed to grasp that 8,000 members is roughly 2% of Catherine's overall subscriber count. Never mind again. So, the question of the day: are these groups only growing the channel? Each time she's brought to the attention of new viewers, is it possible that those they hope will join their crusade are ultimately turning toward Without a Crystal Ball as a source of information? Now, some claim Catherine purchases views and subscribers. I highly doubt this. I did a bit of research. To purchase 100,000 views would cost between $349 and $876 United States dollars. And, with AdSense revenue ranging from $300 to several $1,000s per 100,000 views, it would make absolutely no sense for her to cancel herself out just for a number. Many of you commented on my community tab and viewers on all sides made excellent points. Let us have a look. Avoid that trash fire. If she's going to be stopped and held accountable for anything she's done, it will be by someone in the position to do that and enforce it long term. Not by a bunch of mostly older women and a few male entities on YouTube. Holding Katie accountable is not the responsibility nor the task of any former fans or any Katie haters. In fact, all the interference that happens regarding anything Katie does, only helps Katie continue avoiding any accountability and repercussions. They are proving most of her claims as correct. There are a few loud, recognizable and for the most part, respected individuals who are very effective when it comes to archiving Katie's content, and showing her the reflection of herself she refuses to look at but that we all see all the time, everyone else just mudding up the water. Still. But that's just part of my opinion. She literally gets worse by the minute. It never ends and she needs to be brought to justice through awareness all over social media even if it takes time. I think updates are fine, but the day in and day out gets old. If you say something too much, then people stop listening when you need them to the most. It's ridiculous. Maybe call out the obsessed that are still covering her and trying to hold her accountable thinking they're going to be successful in her cancellation. They're the real nutters. No, no, no. Katie Joy is a never-ending wealth of prime comedic material, please. Keep it coming. Frankly, KJ has been boring for a couple of years now. However, the Katers definitely need to be shown a spotlight. As bad as KJ is, and yes, she is bad, many of the anti-KJ crusaders are just as terrible at being humans, if not worse. Yes. Yes, they are. They'll never bring her down and it's because they all are throwing stones from the glass houses they live in. Also, they're so quick to accuse the non-Katers of being on her payroll yet they're the ones who can't keep KJP's name out of their mouths. It's crazy, Bobby, and each day they get worse. They need to find new, constructive and creative hobbies that are net positive, or net neutral. I do hope you're keeping well. I think what sets her apart from others is that she legitimately harms people in real life and that ticks a lot of us off, so it's not just online gossip, but I agree. She's making a fortune off of people who hate watch her. That's why I stopped watching her a year ago and if I want to see something, I go to Llama Girl's page so that KJ doesn't get the view. I like the fact that there is evidence for anyone that has been harmed, doxxed and defamed by without a crystal ball. Catherine is growing at an alarming rate. This is simply a fact. What is the payoff for these very small YouTube channels to continue to discuss her daily? I personally miss her drunken rantings. Oh, the snarking good times we had. And I do keep an eye on her absolute bollocks. But, if I'm being honest, there's simply very little to discuss at present time. Now, if she were to turn up on Instagram, right now and rage on at her viewers, well, then we would have a jolly good time, wouldn't we? But, as daily content, it just isn't worth the effort to input my shitey text-to-speech program. Never mind. What do you all think? Let us discuss in the comments below. Cheers.